Hello, welcome back to another anime art video. My name is Dennis and I'm a beginner artist, and in today's video I'm going to be drawing uh the blind man. The blind bandit one more time. Um I'm saying one more time because if I remember correctly, he ends up not being a thing anymore. I don't remember how specifically, but the fact that his new form gives him eyes, I don't know if it's Bleach or not, but I remember that there was a character that couldn't see, and then once they could see, they let the fact that they could see get to their head. So they weren't as perceptive anymore because now they had an extra sense that distracted their mind from what they're used to. Like, imagine you're somebody and you can't see, right? And then one day you end up being able to see. All your other senses, you don't focus on them as much, as heavily, because now you have something distracting your mind from the status quo. So let's say you can't hear, right? And then your all of your other senses get heightened, right? And you rely on those. Then one day you become able to hear. Now you have a bunch of sounds coming in your head that weren't there before, and now it's an extra distraction from the way you sensed previously. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, he ends up losing because he's able to see now. But I figured I'd draw him, while he was his past self. And apparently, he joined the Soul Reapers in order for revenge because someone he knew ended up getting married to somebody in the Soul Society, and she went to the Soul Society to be a Soul Reaper in order for her to make a difference in the world. And then her husband ended up killing her. So he joins them in order for power to basically change the world by force if he has to. So power was the reason he joined the Soul Reapers, and power was also the reason why he joined Aizen and went on to do that. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Somebody like him versus somebody like Geen, how strong would Geen be if Geen actually became a hollow? Like, think about it. Two out of the three individuals are hollows, but or visors, but Geen's not. You know, like I don't remember definitively if Geen doesn't have a mask, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have one. So you have Kaname, that's his name, Kaname, which is him here, and you have Aizen, who both are able to be in tune with hollows to get more power. You would think Geen would do the same thing, since his goal is to be as close as he can with Aizen to then betray him when the chance comes. Unless Aizen made the executive decision because, hey, I do trust you, but I never trusted you. So I don't want to give you more power to go against me. And I think that he would know that if he were to give more power to somebody like Geen, it actually could be a problem for him. So he decided not to. Because I can see an individual having specific power, like, I know I like to bring up Rimuru more often than not, but Rimuru is a great example in this instance because Rimuru has an ability that allows him to give abilities to his subordinates, and then he also has an ability where he can give souls of the departed to his subordinates to help them evolve into the next level. And there was one of his subordinates that had an ability that he could have strengthened, and he could have strengthened her, but he made the executive decision to not strengthen her because he didn't want her to end up being stronger than him. And that's a common thing where, do you actually want to take the chance of strengthening somebody and them be stronger than you, and you don't have any, it's not that you don't trust them, it's that you now when people have power over other people, they sometimes can change their thought process and be like, "Hey, I was once very loyal to you, but now I have more power than you, so why do I have to listen to you?" That's a thing that people have in their mind, and that's probably a thing that Geen would obviously Geen wants to do, but Aizen is smart, so Aizen probably thinks like, "Hey, why I don't want to give him hollow powers because he could be a threat to me later." So it's whatever. Let's get into this. Don't you see?
Time ticks and decays, never to return, never to feel whole. Isn't it so easy to lose yourself in time, to draw a finish line, to give yourself to one beyond what's good and bad? It kills me not to know. Lost beyond the edge, planning what to say. It kills me not to know, but yet I carry on, letting go of safety, holding on to fear. Will you be there when beyond what's gone and beyond what's good and bad.
Don't you see?
Time ticks and decays, never to return, never to feel whole. Isn't it so easy to lose yourself in time, to draw a finish line, to give yourself to one beyond what's good and bad? It kills
I am finished with this picture, but unfortunately, completely forgot about this extra feature here. So I'm just gonna add that really quickly. I think Kaname, I, I have the same perspective about this Kaname that I had about, let's say, Ichigo, right? Whereas it's completely different a little bit, but I have a problem with the fact that Kaname ended up using this transformation that he just did instead of using his Bankai. I think that an individual needs to gradually get stronger, especially if they're not completely at a disadvantage, right? And he never showed that he was at a disadvantage versus the captain that he's fighting, right? So, in my mind, he didn't have to go into his strongest form to even have, to have a fight with this opponent. And I'm talking louder and faster than I normally would because somebody is talking in the background and they're talking pretty loud in my room. I don't have my fan on, so my room is pretty silent comparative to what it normally is. So if I were to stop talking for too long, then you would most likely hear that individual in the background. I don't have like a sound muffler on my mic, so you would definitely hear it, and that'd be very problematic. But Kaname, his second form or his visored mask form, that form was not at a disadvantage versus the captain that he was fighting, and Kaname made the executive decision, hey, I'm fighting this captain. This captain uses Bankai, and his Bankai takes damage when you fight against it. But theoretically, Kaname could just go over and actually fight the captain himself. You don't have to fight his big soldier. You're just choosing to fight the big soldier because it also gives damage to the captain. But he didn't have to do that, and he did not have to transform. He could have just used his Bankai while it was in his first form. So it's weird that he just like goes, like he just disregards all the power that he has to do something like that. Like that's the equivalent of like somebody getting a new power and then they disregard their previous power. So like that'd be like Ichigo, right? After getting that new hollow power, he tries to go into that hollow form more often and then just stops going into his Bankai. Imagine if that was the case. Like the amount of power that you're missing out on in that case, it doesn't make sense, right? Because if you can use your visored mask and your Bankai at the same time in tandem, that's a set of power that's aside from just a whole new transformation. The transformation is its own thing, but just like Ichigo, right? Ichigo actually merged the two. Ichigo was in his Bankai state with his black sword, and he had his hollow mask, and then when he got blasted in the chest and he was laying on the ground, his sword was still there, and when he transformed into his Espada form, his sword was still the Bankai sword. So he still had his Bankai mixed with, I think it's just one of those things where I wouldn't just disregard one of your strongest powers just because you don't want to be associated. Maybe I'm like crazy and maybe he just hasn't done his Bankai yet, or I don't know what the reason would be, but his power that he just transformed is basically the equivalent of like what's his name, Ukiura. Yeah, Ukiura. He had two transformations and he said that he's the only one that did, but in reality, uh, if you're half if you're what he is, where he started out as a Soul Reaper, then he should still have his Bankai. Ukiura makes sense that he would have two transformations because that'd be a Shikai and a Bankai for a Soul Reaper. So for a Soul Reaper to have a Shikai and a Bankai and then a Hollow Mask and then an Espada form or Rexion form, like that's that and that, right? So I would do that, but he didn't. But whatever. That's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you didn't. Let me know what I can do in the comment section to make it better. If you don't watch next time, the glove is off. Peace, love. Thanks for watching.